Hello fellow human! Welcome back to another Dank Doggo slash ChoosingBeggars. We have 8 stories in total for you guys today. The first story is posted by wSlash TGOTR with a title of Actually Called the Cops on Me. I do freelance IT work for people, and that oftentimes requires building a computer. I get a message from someone at the time I thought was a friend asking me to build a computer for him. I helped him pick out the parts. It came out to be a couple thousand. Told him he could pay up front or he could pay in installments and got a computer when he was done. We have a verbal contract that he was going to pay up, so I put in a machine on a credit card knowing he would pay. I had to pay off the card and I'd pocket the extra I charged for labor and time. A week later, it's set up and he is refusing to pay, saying that since I'm not a legit business because I don't have the brick and mortar location, I'm not a real business, so he doesn't have to pay. I tell him it's waiting for him to pay, if not I would sell it to someone else. A couple hours later, police cars show up and they intend to arrest me for stolen property. I answered the door and the cops put me in cuffs. They went to confiscate the machine and pushed the issue and said the evidence was on my phone. I let them go through my phone, we sat down, they uncuffed me, and I made them some coffee while they shifted through the stuff. They could see me from the room they were in. They apologized for the misunderstanding and left. Apparently, the beggar was cited for the misuse of 911. I ended up parting out the system to recoup the costs. What got me angry is that the police just showed up and cuffed OP before even attempted to verify the truth or gather any kind of evidences. Like, what the hell? What makes them think that the beggar might not lie? On to the second story written by wSlash Bunshan. My sister needed a job. My sister, unqualified, is looking for a job. She's open to anything. She's broke, hasn't paid her rent in a month, and is borrowing money from my mother, which she has no way of paying back. I know there's a few openings available at work, so I speak to the CEO and put in a good word in the hopes that she'll get a job and stop taking money from my mother. My sister gets offered a community-based job, full-time, 40 hours, paying $20 an hour, above average wage in my country. She's offered flexible hours to work around her kids and she can bring them to work after school so she doesn't have to pay for childcare. Free healthcare is also included as there is a clinic on site, amongst other perks. Overall, a great place to work. In true form, my sister questions the salary and requests an hourly rate of between 30 to 36 bucks per hour, as working in the community is a hard job. This is more than even my boss gets paid. She then requests to work only 6 hours days instead of 8 hours days because she doesn't think she can make a full-time hours work. The CEO declines her request. She emails him saying that she feels she's worth more and has other opportunities elsewhere. And now, she still hasn't got a job. I'm humiliated that I put my name out there for it, and despite her begging for any good job opportunity, she still managed to screw it up. It's so sad hearing this. I know a lot of people would kill for this job, and the benefits that come along with it. I think the beggar did that on purpose so she can enjoy being lazy at home while spending her mother's money. On to the third story shared by wSlash Ripped Trousers. Lady wants a free pizza, then refuses it. I used to work at a little pizzeria, and after a busy night, we'd sometime ended up with a couple of mistake pizzas that we couldn't sell sitting on top of the oven, like if the cook accidentally put on the wrong toppings or a slightly burnt pizza, stuff like that. Well, one night, about 20 minutes before closing, a lady comes in and proceeds to tell me a sob story about her and her son being stranded and hungry, having nothing to eat all day, and can I give her a free pizza? Me, well, you're in luck. I actually do have an extra pizza tonight, and you can have it. Lady, can I see it? Me, taking the pizza box off the oven and showing her a perfectly fine pepperoni and mushroom pizza. Lady, ew, it's got mushroom on it. Me, surprised she's being picky. I guess so. Lady, can you make me a different pizza? Me, not for free. If you want a pizza to order, I have to charge you for it. Lady, but I don't have any money. Me, so take this free one then. Lady, but I don't like mushrooms. Me, you can pick them off? Lady making a disgust face. I don't want that one. Can you give me anything else? Me, sorry, this is the only thing I can give you for free. Then she makes an angry sign and just walks out, doesn't take the pizza. I guess they weren't that hungry. Wow, this is the very definition of choosing beggar right here. She would rather let her son starve than taking a free pizza with mushroom. But still, why? Mushrooms are delicious and have a lot of nutrients. On the fourth story shared by /Pandaland28. Got greedy, got nothing. I was in a UK supermarket waiting in line for the self-scanning checkouts, was about 4 from the front of the queue. Due to technical difficulties, contactless payments were down. In UK, you can pay by tapping your card or phone on the card machine, and you have to insert your card in the machine and enter your PIN or pay cash. A guy mid to late 20s at one of the registers had only brought his phone as he was going to use contactless pay, so he wasn't able to pay for his groceries, which came to a grand total of about 2.5 to about £3. I'm a big believer of paying it forward and karma, so being the good person that I am, I step forward and offer to pay. The choosy beggar then says that he actually need a few other bits so I could wait while he goes to get them. Well, I say okay, I thinking it might be 1 or 2 more items, but he brings a whole basket full of groceries, including beer? That would have costed at least £50. I tell him that I'm only paying for the 2 original items, and he responds with, "It's all or nothing." After some painstaking deliberation, I told him that I would have to go with nothing, paid for my shopping and left. It's been a week, and I'm still in shock that he thought I was going to pay for all of his groceries. When he said he needed to get a few bits, clarification, bits means items, I was taken back, but he had walked off before I could reply. I waited about 10 minutes because that's what Good Samaritan in me thought was the right thing to do. I didn't feel right offering to pay and then walking away. I did after he came back though. What is wrong with these people? The dude tried to threaten OP when he's clearly in a huge disadvantage. I love how the beggar thought it's some great loss to OP and playing hardball. On to the fifth story shared by /Lache. Lady I sold air mattress to came back a year later to ask for a refund. When I moved in with my now husband, I decided to sell my air mattress since we now have a guest bedroom with a real bed. I posted on Nextdoor before I realized my local Nextdoor was an utter crap show. I'd had my air mattress for a year or two, only used it twice, and bought it for $175, so I listed it for $50. I also put in the listing that I would never had any issues with it, which is true. A woman emailed me and asked if she could come and see it. I agreed, and she asked me to make sure it was set up so she could check it out. Well, fair enough. I inflated it and was ready when she arrived. She spent no less than 25 minutes testing it out, lying on it, rolling around, asking me to be quiet so she could listen for air leaks. All was good, and again I told her I would never had any issues with it, but had only used it twice. After 30 minutes of watching her whistle in my living room, she said she would take it, but only had $30. I told her again what I had paid for and I wouldn't take less than 50. She told me a long story about her limited income, how it was used, and I wouldn't get somebody to pay that much, etc. I refused to budge, and she grumpily went home to get more money. I took it, gave her the mattress, she left. I praised the good Lord I would never have to contact with her again. Right? Wrong. Over a year later, I'm at work and my cell phone rings. I pick it up and here's the conversation. Me. Hello? Crazy lady, CL. Hi, this is CL. Long pause. Me. I'm sorry, who? CL. It's CL. You sold me an air mattress a while ago. Me. Okay, can I help you? CL. Actually, yeah. Once I bought the air mattress, I used it with some friends and they said it deflates a little at night. Me, okay. CL, I think it had a hole in it. We haven't been able to use it because it deflates. I wasn't sure if I should contact you, but lots of my friends encouraged me to. Me getting frustrated and needing to get back to work. Is there something you need? CL, yes, I'd like my money back. You sold me a defective product. Me, no I didn't. I told you all the details of the product, gave you a very fair price, and you tested it out yourself before buying it. I also haven't heard from you over a year. CL, well, I called you to try to give a chance to do the right thing here. Me, the right thing? I haven't heard from you in a year. If you had any issues with it in the first week after I sold it to you, I might be willing to refund you. At this point, anything could have happened to it. CL, well, that is very disappointing. I really think you should refund me because there was a hole in it. Me, I'm not refunding your money. I hung up and blocked her number. I'm sure she's still out there counting her pennies and trying to reach me. Don't you just hate it when people bring less than an agreed upon price? Stupid tactic and waste of time for both parties. Also, I'm really concerned about those people of the beggar that encourage her to contact OP. On to the 6th story shared by u/HadySock. Friend's sister thinks she's entitled to sub because she has such a hard life. I'm browsing Facebook and noticed a friend's sister had tagged me in a comment. Turns out it's for a raffle for a local school charity. She's bought a few tickets and wants others to buy them too. Well, fair enough. A few days later, I noticed that my feed is taken up with her making post after post about how she really wishes she could win the hot tub that is the first prize because it would really benefit her daughter. She was born a couple of months early, she has issues with hearing, but aside from that, is fine. And how awful it is that she just can't afford something like that and nothing ever goes their way. They have 2 cars, satellite TV, just had a wedding at a fancy country hotel, etc, etc. To me, these things are luxurious and not essentials at all. She lives in a modest house and her husband has a decent job. The day before the raffle is drawn, she makes a giant post about how she's really desperate to win this hot tub and she doesn't know what she will do if she doesn't win it, and implying everyone she knows that to donate the hot tub to her should they win. The day of the raffle arrives and behold, she wins the hot tub. Rigged much? She makes a long post about how grateful she is and that the angels are looking down on her and her daughter will be so happy. But it's not as big as they need it to be, and the one was looking on the website is much bigger, and she really wishes that it was that one instead. Ugh! She implores her friends to ask for the organizers to swap the hot tub for a better one. The organizer replies and says that it was donated and if she got in touch with the company, they would upgrade it for the difference in price. She argues that as the mother of a disabled child, she can't afford it and was hoping organizers could use some of the funds from the raffle to get the upgrade. They decline. Oh well. A few months later, she makes a post that she has a hot tub for sale for X amount of cash. The organizers of the raffle spot the post and comment that the hot tub didn't cost that much brand new, and they were disappointed that she was selling it after begging people to have it. She justifies the price by saying that she has a disabled child and they need the cash more and that it's too big to keep her in their property and it's more of an inconvenience and they never use it anyway. Someone offers her price and they arrange a time for collection and the buyer agrees. She then asks him if there is any way he would just give her the money and let her keep the hot tub because it's vital to her disabled child's welfare and that she have a hot tub. Wow, this beggar got a huge victim mentality. Using your disabled kid to take advantage of others just make you a horrible person. On to the 7th story shared by u/KaiFranos. Literal choosing beggar, but it's awesome. For setup, I park for work at a giant car park that's shared by a McDonald's and a supermarket. That supermarket also has sandwich deli that serves fresh, huge, pretty, healthy sandwich and similar products. This was after work and I was famished, so decided to be naughty and grab a snack from the McDonald's. As I was doing so, I got stopped by a beggar asking if I could help him out with some food. I'm somewhat jaded with encounters such as this, so I can say that I can get him a specific thing from McDonald's if he's happy to take that. Not just offering cash or getting badgered. The beggar looks nervous, clears his throat, and says he would prefer something different. If possible, sandwiches from the deli are more filling and healthy than a McDonald's snack. If possible, and only possible, would I mind getting him a sandwich from the deli instead of a cheeseburger or whatever. Dude looks so ashamed and nervous about asking me to go an extra step on his behalf, and he was right. I tell the dude not to sweat it, and waited right there. As I'm making the order at the deli, I tell the worker about the whole thing. She finds it so sweet, she gives me 3 sandwiches for the price of 1 to take out to the guy. The guy tears up when he sees the small fees I brought out to him. And I tell him to thank the deli worker as well since she contributed too. He mutely offers me one of the sandwiches and we go back and forth for a bit. He's insistent that it is so nice I need to have one to enjoy myself too. It's only dropped when I point out that the sandwiches were specifically a gift from the deli to him and it would be stealing if I took them. So the guy was really, literally a choosing beggar. I was going to offer him a cheeseburger or some chicken nuggets, he specifically tried to choose something else. It was one of the nicest moments in my life. Well, I didn't think it was possible to be a choosing beggar in a good way, but apparently there is. Well, I guess the guy has his own reasons. Perhaps he has some health diseases such as obesity or diabetes, which might prevent him from consuming junk food at McDonald's. Because usually beggars never felt ashamed of anything. On to the final story shared by /Bubonis. Only $5? Oh, sorry, my mistake. This happened earlier today. I had dropped my daughter off at an event and had about 90 minutes to kill, so I decided to head one over town to pick up few geocache that had been taunting me. After my second cache hunt, I parked across the street from a little bodega to see where I should try my luck next. As I'm going through the nearby geocache on my phone, I noticed a man begging for money from passers-by outside the bodega. I found a likely cache, then decided to buy a bottle of water at the bodega. Sidebar, I drive a 2010 Chrysler 300C AWD. I inherited the car from my mother when she passed away in December 2017. It's not the type of car that I would buy for myself, but it runs well, and I had a few complaints about it, so I drive it. I left my car across the street and sure enough, the guy asked me for some money for some food. I was feeling generous and it was a nice day, so I reached out into my wallet and handed him a $5 bill. Well, given the neighborhood, the odds were good that he'd used it for drugs, but whatever. I went inside, bought my water, and left. As I walked out, the man stopped me. Man, "Hey brother, you have anything else for me?" Me, excuse me? Man, I mean you must have lots of money driving that big cars of yours. Me, didn't I just give you $5? Man, yeah man, but that's chump change. I'll bet you have got plenty more on you right now. Me, casually take a step back. So you'd rather have something other than the $5 I give you? Man, yeah, how about it? Me, smiling, well sure thing, pulls out the wallet. Where's that 5 I gave you? Man, hands me back the $5 bill. Me, take the bill. I don't know what I was thinking, I'm so sorry. Puts the $5 bill back into the wallet, pockets the wallet. Have a great day. And with that, I turned and went back to my car. I was about halfway across the street when the guy started yelling at me. I turned and waved, more to make sure he wasn't chasing after me, not to goad him on, but he just stood there yelling racist comments at me. By the time I got in my car and pulled away, he was standing on the street cursing me out. I waved and left. Well, shameless beggars strike it once again. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Dank Doggo appreciates your time. If you enjoy our content and want to see more of us, stay tuned and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that like button and ring the bell, or Doggo will cry. Also, you can always tell us your friendly neighbor Doggo your experiences in the comment section. I'll catch up with you guys later in the next video.